Okay. Hello, my name is Gabriel Jaimes, and currently I am a National Astronomy Education Coordinator here in Bolivia. And today we will be talking about the context of astronomy education in Bolivia with the topic of the academic ether for the International Astronomical Union Show Workshop Congress of Astronomy for Education. So we will be talking about the analogy itself, some sharing tools, experiences, and opportunities, and some future expectations. So about the analogy itself, the Greek culture defined this another element as that material that fills the region of the universe about the terrestrial sphere. But more important than the definition itself should be the features that this concept has. For example, that ether cannot be detected, ether is certainly big, the ether has been with us for a long time, and that ether has an influential interaction with us. And other cultures around the globe define this with other names, for example, Akasha, fifth element, dark matter, and vacuum. But maybe considering a case of study for Bolivia, we could mention the first feature. Ether cannot be detected. A concept that actually different professionals and astronomers here in Bolivia share is that the field of astronomy and space science faces different challenges for its formal implementation for academic and professional scenarios in Bolivia. So if anybody here in Bolivia wants to implement an initiative for diffusion, supporting, or maybe the practical education application of astronomy, we may find that there already exist different platforms, different uh, initiatives, and different events that could help for doing this support for the science. For example, the Network for Astronomy School Education that makes some courses here in Bolivia, the Open Astronomy Schools events, the AstroEDU resources for International Astronomical Union, and why not the different events that were celebrating the 100 years of these organizations that were made in the last year. So from the different feedback that we had from educators and people in the field, we found a public answer that was Bolivia needs more initiatives for development and diffusion of astronomy. And this is kind of a common answer. Moreover, there are different observatories, there are different initiatives, different science corners that actually support astronomy. Maybe diffusion is another challenge because the diversification of cultures or maybe the distribution of people in rural and urban areas here in Bolivia are kind of different depending on the state of the department that we have. So this is a consideration to have in order to make a proper work for a community working at a national level. Another feature is that ether is certainly big. If we make a search in Google for astronomy in Spanish language, we will find 34,000 results just for the astronomy world. This is important because it certainly is big because we have different resources for astronomy that were developed for professionals in the field that actually made this proper work. And we could use this as a base for doing more initiatives at a regional level. Moreover, talking about reference initiatives from the country itself, from the last post in Facebook from Ministry of Education in Bolivia, we found that just for Scientific Bolivian Olympiads for STEM initiatives, 420,000 students participated in this event. This is a significant number, and not only just for students, but also for parents, for academic communities, for schools that actually participate in this event. And it is important because maybe for some of these students are like a process of immersion of this science, and also it could be considered as a proper development of future potential human resources for this field. For sure that there are many organizations here in Bolivia that support astronomy, between them universities, schools, cultural centers, and also we participate in worldwide activities for diffusion of this science, for the celebrations that were made last year and some other proper dedicated for astronomy education. Another feature is that ITER has been with us for a long time. And in the concept of analogy, we may consider that different cultures also develop and make some proper work for contribution in astronomy around the globe. For example, the Greeks, the Egyptians, the Copernicus theory, and also the Chinese culture. But if we take a look for regional level, we may find that we also have, if we take a look, for different contributions that were made in the context of astronomy. For example, here in Bolivia, we have the Tiwanaku lunar calendar that is based in all the art and all the ruins that were made in the actual soundscape that is in the Tiwanaku culture ruins. If we take a look for the planifications that were made for this building, we may find that they interact for different astronomical events that in that time were related with solstice, for example. So this is important for us because it is we have some potential of research for doing this archaeoastronomy. And finally, another feature from the analogy is that ITER has an influential interaction with us. For sure, the concept of time is related with the primordial movements of the Earth, the rotation, the translation of the Earth around the Sun, and also that nowadays different observatories are doing proper contributions for making advanced research and discoveries in the field of astronomy that many of the students should be in context about. For example, the huge, massive black hole that we found and the actual picture, the array of pictures that they took, that was actually something in terms of diffusion significant for the students. But also, it is significant because at a cultural level, for example, here in Bolivia, we have the Aymara New Year that is related with the solstice, and in terms of astronomy, is directly related with astronomy of time, astronomy of position. And for sure, it has interaction with us because when we develop some initiatives for diffusion, for celebrating some events, for doing the star parties, or some class of education itself, different students, different teachers are related with the field in terms of that passion, of that interest that they have for supporting these initiatives. Because if we, for example, consider different schools from different contexts, they all share the same idea for doing these initiatives and supporting them. So, from the experiences that we had here with some local clubs and some events that we made, we may say that for astronomy education, some challenges in the field of astronomy and space science are real, but they should be took as an opportunity to grow and to contribute properly. There is no dependency on resources, training, or instrumentations when you want to learn, because as we saw, the amount of resources is huge, and there are also different initiatives on the way that supports this idea. Learning can be enhanced through the use of appropriate tools. It is important from the perspective of the teachers, from the educators, and culture of sharing, volunteering, teamwork, and competence with oneself is actually important if a group of students want to make some astronomical initiatives, or maybe as teachers want to participate with the students for a scientific Olympiad. It should be no more academic ether by the time, because of all the points that we detailed before, and it should be fun, because normally what astronomy produces, and this is for real from our experiences, is passion and interest in the students and the teachers. Finally, as future expectations, we may find some challenges. For example, the misinformations, the languages that we manage here in Bolivia, the Spanish language, the educational system, the professional training, the practical experience, the methodology that we use, the centralization of the institution, and disconnection from technological convergences. And moreover, for the future, we expect big things working as a group, as a country, we want to make an identification of educational scenarios, the utilization of regions' own potential, such as the case of astronomy that I mentioned before, the establishment of national platforms for astronomy, the development of wide-ranging initiatives with institutional collaboration, joint work through shared resources such as a society of astronomy of amateur astronomers, and the academic motivations for teachers for developing proper content, for the curricula of educational system, and for the development of clubs of astronomy at the students level. Well, that was our perspective of view from some experiences that we had. Greetings from Bolivia. That is all. Bye-bye.